What's up, guys? I decided to take a look at the recent transfer between Fnatic and Vitality regarding Mezii, and I wanted to look at how Mezii was going to fit into Vitality's roster and how it may affect the results. Now, this is really for my own research. I'm pretty involved with HLTV Fantasy. I think I'm ranked 109, and so I wanted to see how well Vitality will perform at this next tournament. So I did some digging and found some interesting demos, which hopefully will help you guys out when you craft your fantasy teams. So for those of you who don't want to watch the entire video, I'm just going to lay it out up front that Mezii is playing on flame spots on all the maps, or on at least 3 of the maps that I had access to on FaceIT. And I'll give you that caveat on the next slide, but basically Mezii is playing B Anchor, and on Fnatic he also played B Anchor on Mirage, Vertigo, and Anubis. On Overpass he's playing Monster, which was Magisk's old spot, which we'll get to on the next slide. On Fnatic he was playing B Rotator. Now the names for these positions I got from Nero, who has a really fantastic spreadsheet or tableau which shows all the player stats and their positions. And so shout out to him. Now Flames, interestingly, has taken over Magisk's position. So on Mirage, he's now playing A Anchor, Vertigo, A Rotate, which is a great move for him, I believe. Anubis, he's playing A Anchor, and Overpass, now he's playing B Short, which is where he was playing before. And I didn't make this stuff up. I got it from FaceIT demos, which I will provide a link in the description so you guys can stock them just like I did. All right, so this is just a straight up screenshot of the CT positions and the T positions. Again, I got this from Nero, who has a really cool spreadsheet showing all this stuff. So you can see that Flames was previously playing B Anchor on Anubis, B Anchor on Vertigo, B Anchor on Mirage. All those spots have gone to Mezii, who was actually playing those spots before on Fnatic. Now, Nero has updated his tableau to indicate that Mezii is on Vitality, but Flames positions have not been updated. So consider this video, if you believe what I'm saying, given the source, if you believe me to be true. I'm going to operate under the assumption that Mezii is taking over all of Flames' old positions, and Flames are taking over Magisk's positions. On the T side, Magisk and Mezii had a lot of overlap, so I'm not going to go over that really too much because the CT side is kind of more interesting to me, for this video at least. And we're going to be focusing on that. So if you want to see all this stuff, check out the Twitter link from Nero. He has some really good statistical content that I love to see. Okay, so just some disclaimers for those of you who are still watching and you want to see how I got to this spot. These are from FaceIT pugs, and on the Anubis pug, Zywoo wasn't even playing. Very low sample size. This is just they played one map, and again, these are just FaceIT pugs. Now, what I think gives these pugs a little bit of credibility and why we should be paying attention to them is that, one, Mezii was playing in his positions that he was playing on Fnatic. So that kind of tells me that he's kind of warming up into these positions that he'll be playing for Vitality. Flames was playing in Magisk spots, and Vitality they're a very clean execution team, and their openings and their mid-round moves were much more coordinated than what a normal pug would look like. And, Apex is flashing out Mezii, Flames, and Spinks, like the first round of Anubis Pistol. I mean, that's a set play. So things were looking pretty sweaty, and that's why I'm gonna just roll with this assumption that this is how the spots are gonna play out. So this is the scoreboard, and we're not gonna go over this in too much detail, but just to show you guys that they actually did play. And I'll make this PDF spreadsheet or this PDF presentation available to everyone who wants to see it. And the links for the FaceIT are below. Interestingly, oh yeah, the Mirage game was kind of interesting. We had Joel on the other team who, has some controversy surrounding him. But I mean, these games weren't, they're pugs, but the pugs were actually like the pug teams were playing pretty decently against them, and obviously Vitality was trying out a whole bunch of different stuff. But um, probably I'm not going to read too deeply into that. But 13-10, I playing a pro team, you might expect them to do a little bit better, but again, it's pugs. So the Anubis game, Body was playing. Zai was not even playing. So this is, take it with a huge grain of salt. They did go to overtime. Overpass, complete stomp over Yekendar's team. So this is just Gnosis or Noasis. This is a program that I use when I'm looking at demos. It just makes things a lot quicker. You can just see the positioning. I'm looking specifically at Mezii on all of these slides, and you can see he's playing the A. On T side, he's playing the extremity position, A extremity, B anchor, Anubis. He's going towards A extremity, B anchor vertigo, B extremity vertigo, overpass monster, and because they didn't play any T rounds, I'm just showing where Flames is now. So Flames is playing B short, which is where he was playing before. So overpass is no change on the CT side for Vitality. So now that we know how Mezii's, where his spots are, I kind of wanted to look into how he's going to fit in and how the roles are going to be affected by that. So I think that Mezii is a better anchor than Flames because it's his natural position. That's where he likes to play. He's played there before. And in this interview from HLTV from basically when Flames had just joined, they asked him about roles, and he said that, I'll just quote, "Fitting in the aggressive rifle on T side, I think I've been aggressive all of my life, so I feel like the role suits me really well. On CT, most of the positions have changed, so there I'm trying to fit in and improve on that." So he makes, an allusion to how he likes to be aggressive. His CT positions, B anchor, not really an aggressive position. On Vertigo, CT anchor on B is not very aggressive, though there are set plays. But if Mezii's taking over the anchor roles on B for most sites, that will unlock Flames to be a little bit more aggressive on some spots where he can be more aggressive. So for example, on Mirage, the A anchor can make more plays than the B anchor, but then there's also more responsibility. So when I say they can make more plays, for example, there are some plays I saw in the FaceIT demo where Apex would flash Flames into A main for a peek. Flames would just be, I think on the pistol round, he just pushed straight up into Palace, and I think that's really going to suit him well. I think that's going to unlock some things for him. But then again, it's going to be difficult to adapt to those roles because at the highest level, people are, it's not going to be an overnight thing. So I took this stat from Leadify, which is really handy because you can't do it on HLTV, but I like to use Leadify, HLTV, whatever I can get my hands on. And on Leadify, you can filter out all the CT rounds and you can look at their ADR. So for example, Mezii has an ADR of 91 basically in his last 30 matches on HLTV. Flames is at a 78, 79. Now this is, you got to take this with a grain of salt because Mezii has been playing, tier 2, tier 3 competition, or teams, definitely not at the level of Vitality. So it is an interesting comparison. I think that you have to think about his level of competition, but these are some big numbers, as we'll see, and I included the Vitality numbers on the next slide. So now that we know that Mezii he's not taking Magisk's roles, we know that Flames is, I think the question has to be, can Flames fill Magisk's shoes or his roles? And I don't think so. I think that they're just different players. And I mean, every player is different. And to find a one-to-one substitution for Magisk it's almost impossible. There are few players that can play like Magisk. Magisk is a top anchor. He was, just going down here. He was awarded the best anchor from Gamers 8. This is an HLTV given award. And I would say if you wanted to, an anchor of the same caliber of Magisk, I would say Rops, Shush from Heroic. Those two anchors, I would say, play in a way that Magisk, comparable to Magisk. I think that they're not overly aggressive. Magisk is a very versatile player. And Flames, as I, pointed out in the interview earlier, he does tend to be aggressive. And that's not a bad thing. I think that you just need a lot of time to build a system around an aggressive player like that. So let's just go down the list again and just see, about Magisk. He does a lot of damage. I mean, Magisk, looking at the HL or the ADR, he's at 84.17, which is the second highest. This is CT side for Vitality, the entire Vitality roster, courtesy of Leadify. He's the second highest ADR behind Spinks at 87.3. And the reason I provided this was because I wanted to show, compare Magisk and Flames, who are both playing anchor positions. Granted, they're on different sides of the map, so they're going to get different amounts of action. But Flames is at the lowest ADR of the old Vitality roster on the CT side. And, you could chalk that up to him just not getting as much action, because people, teams aren't going, B on Mirage, or he has to, he's forced into a retake situation, or he has to save. But compare Magisk to Zaiwu, who is, one of your most impactful CT players, and he has a higher ADR. Again, these are just stats. I think you guys should rely on your eye test, but Magisk is doing a ton of damage every round on CT side, and that's what good anchors do. So another thing that Magisk does well is he has a really good timing of his grenades, smoke, smallies, and sometimes, when he doesn't have the resources for grenades, he can use a rifle and be okay. He can survive, he can do damage, and that's what, in my opinion, that's what great anchors do. He's very versatile, and most importantly, he has the experience. He knows how to win. He knows how to win majors, 4 of them. So I think that it's a really big ask for Flames to fill Magisk's roles or his shoes. I think that Vitality will have to do a lot of restructuring, which is fine, which it will take time, and I think they can do well, but it will take time. So, as I alluded to in my last slide, what's it going to take for Vitality to do well? I think they're going to need to find a new win condition. They're going to need to take a look at their CT sides and figure out a way they can make Flames as effective as Magisk, which is a huge ask. But it can be done. I think that Flames is going to he's going to give them a different kind of dimension. He's going to throw some curveballs at the other team, and I'm excited to see how they do. And I think that this timing works out well because, they're going to have a new coach, they have a new player in Mezii, and their roles are getting shifted around, and now is the perfect time to do all this stuff. So, in conclusion, I think that Mezii is a really good addition. I think that he's a better anchor than Flames. He's going to do more damage. He's going to just feel more comfortable in his roles, and I think that's going to give them some more rounds. Short term, I do think Vitality is going to have some growing pains. Flames is going to have to do a lot of learning. He's going to have to gain a lot of experience in order to really live up to where Vitality was before this change. And I think that the pressure is going to be on Vitality to figure out a way to do that. I hope that you guys have a good fantasy draft and this gave you a little bit of insight into what Vitality is going to look like in the future. Let me know what you guys think. I love talking about Counter-Strike, love thinking about it, and would love to hear what you guys have to say. So leave a comment if you like it, and good luck in your fantasy if you do that.